Hello, and welcome to Guys Dealings with Feelings, a show about our experiences as men and real tools that we've used and continue to use for mental and emotional strength. I'm usually here with my good friend Jason. He's a licensed therapist with 18 years of experience and a strong background in trauma and recovery, with my own path being profoundly shaped by the tragic loss of my son and the work that it took to rebuild my life. Together, we share what we've learned and the ways we implemented those things uh, into our lives with hopes of helping men who find some true happiness. If this podcast hits home for you, please like, share, and subscribe. A quick 5-star review helps us reach more men who could really help hearing this material. You can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and our Guys Dealings with Feelings, and on YouTube and Instagram at I2U Thrive. So today is going to be a little bit different. I'm wrapping up season 2 of Guys Dealings with Feelings, and I'm really not going to sit down and talk about a certain topic or a tool. I'm just going to kind of go into appreciation, ownership, and excitement for the future. So I'll start off by saying keeping up with this show isn't always easy. Life happens, work, kids, relationships, and responsibilities, and things don't just pause because we're out here trying to build something meaningful and helpful. If you've ever struggled to stay consistent with your goals, your healing, your habits, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So instead of beating ourselves up, we're owning it and choosing to grow from it. I also want to take a minute to shout out my partner in this whole thing, Jason. Almost every single episode of this season has just been the two of us. We sit around breaking down men's emotional health, trauma, healing relationships, and the kind of conversations that most guys, frankly, don't have. And he brings a perspective that only years of lived experience, not just clinical, but his human experience, can shape. And I'm so grateful for him, and I'm grateful for what we've created together. And to you, anyone and everyone who listens to this show, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart and Jason's as well. Whether you listen to every show or just occasionally, or you just landed here by accident, we sure appreciate you. We don't take a single download for granted. Your messages, your comments, your support, that's what tells us this is worth it, that men's conversations like these are needed, that someone out there is being helped, encouraged, or challenged by what we say. The show is growing because of real people who are listening, sharing, and coming back, and that means a hell of a lot. We're not done. We're not comfortable. We're definitely not where we want to be. Got some things we need to refine with the show. We need sharper topics, deeper breakdowns, more tools, more structure, more vulnerability, and more usefulness. Season 3 is going to be intentional and refined. Here's a preview of what we're going to talk about in Season 3, rebuilding identity in a rapidly changing America, navigating unexpected change, men and emotional absence, trauma loops, why we relive experiences we never processed, the breakdown of modern masculinity pressures, internal versus external validation in mental fitness, fatherhood and leadership, how to build a personal community. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. So I want to say thank you for checking out the show and listening. And the bottom line of what we're trying to do, both Jason and I, not just with the show, but in life, is help people who find themselves stuck or hurting, not where they want to be, not happy, whether it's a divorce, custody issues, bad decisions, all of the above, whether it's life has dealt you a tough deck of cards, you got a tough hand, you got to make lemonade out of lemons. Jason and I have been able to take some real huge strides in our life in finding ourselves in a place of happiness that we hadn't previously experienced in our lives. And we've got a couple years on earth, and we've had some tough times, we've had some happy times, but nothing like we've got now. And it's a calmness, I think, is what I would be. And I'm a long way from being where I want to be. I've got things I need to work on. I try to daily. I try to be accountable for my actions, for the things I work on and don't work on. I try to look in the mirror. I try to understand myself a little better and implement the very tools we talk about on the show. And I know that I got friends out there who listen, and I know that some of you contact me about things you're dealing with, and it's tough. Life is tough. It's not going to be easy, but that's just how it goes. And we have a choice. We can either sit back and talk about how bad it sucks and how we're a victim of this or that and how it is never going to change and all this and that and the other, or we can take action. We can look in the mirror and know that we are responsible for the life that we have. And while we can't be responsible for everything that's going to happen to us or happen around us, we can sure as hell be responsible for what we do with those circumstances that present themselves in our lives. And we can make changes to set up the next set of circumstances to be more of what we're looking for in life, not just uh, hoping or thinking that luck may come our way. It doesn't have to be like that. The actions that we take, the things that we focus on, the perspective that we have, the goals that we set for ourselves internally and externally, following through on those, the way we treat people, the way we treat ourselves, where we focus our effort, time, and energy. So many of us as men, especially, will focus 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week on work and not even 5 minutes on ourselves. And there's a litany of reasons. We do shows on all the different reasons why this is occurring. And I encourage you to listen to them and see if you can apply things specifically to what you're dealing with. As far as the upcoming season, some of the things I ripped through, what we're going to focus on is setting ourselves up to teach the things that we are talking about better, to share them in a way that is understandable, as well as sharing tools that you can implement immediately in your life. And the bottom line is what we do and how our life turns out is 100% based on us and the decisions that we decide to make. It's too easy to stay in the routine, whatever routine that is. It's the routine that's gotten you where you are. Now, I know that some of us find ourselves, well, I mean, life isn't that bad. I've got a good job that pays good, and my family seems to be all healthy and doing the things they want to be doing. But you know that things aren't the way that you want them. If they're the way that you want them, then move forward. Keep doing what you're doing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with somebody being happy. That's what the whole show is about, is trying to make sure that one can find happiness. But I know where I struggle is attachment to external and not internal things, and the calmness that comes with that. And so that's where I really try to focus a lot of my attention on the work I'm doing on myself, is on the internal, focusing on where am I on the internal? Where am I there? And, Jason goes into that quite a bit in the conversations we have, but not focusing on the car or the house or the income, but focusing on the way that I act as a human being, the way that I treat other human beings, and the respect that I show them, and the enjoyment of putting all that out there that comes back. So all that comes back as a result of the things that I work on and the way that I am and the way that I treat people, it comes back, and it comes back in weird ways sometimes, and sometimes very obvious ways. I know I've got some extremely good friends and human beings in my life, and I don't think that's by accident. I've been presented with some great human beings, and I've done a lot of work as a friend. I feel confident in my friendship skills, and I think a lot of us are that way. We would do anything for our pals, but we won't look in the mirror and do anything for that fellow in the mirror. And if I can get anything through to you, that is it. That working hard for the man, quote unquote, even if you're the man, if it's your business, working yourself to death on that, or working yourself to death to make sure that the kids get every last thing that they've asked for or desire, making sure that your significant other has absolutely everything they can think of as you see it. And if you're in a problem space, it could be that you're seeing it wrong. I know I did for a long time and still often do. But the tools and things that we're teaching help us see them more clearly as it's seen from the perspective of those who are trying to help and love. So if it's what's most important is being happy, which is spending time with people we love, doing things we enjoy doing. And if we want to be the best human for the loved ones, so for the spouse, partner, for our children, for our pals, we got to focus on the guy in the mirror first. And that's just period, end of the story. If If you have a battery that's at 50%, your child does not get the best version of you. We know when we're tired, we don't think as straight, we're not as patient, we don't give the best message. When we are rested, when we are feeling good, we do. And the only way that we get to those places in our lives is by taking the time to focus on the guy in the mirror and to say, above all else, I've got to make sure that I am running like a well oiled machine. And it's like everything else, it's front loaded with work, but then it comes with lifelong traits that you're able to continue to implement and keep yourself on track so that you stay that 90%, 95% of you, the best version of you, too, not a worn out, dragged down, beaten up, not even happy version of you. That guy can't produce shit. And, we feel like we're working our butts off, and you probably are. You probably are working yourself to death on all of those things, and none of them are actually getting what you're trying to achieve because you're doing it at such a low um, speed, if you will. Your car has flat tires, running low on gas, uh, carburetor's clogged up, fuel lines are clogged up, and you're trying to get from one side of the country to the other. You're not going to get there. You think you're getting there. You've got your foot smashed all the way to the floor, but the car's just not rolling. And for a long time, I didn't even notice my car was beat up. I knew it wasn't a brand new high end vehicle, but I didn't think I was running as blind as I was running. And so I'm trying to share these things that have come to light to me that, for whatever, my history brought me to the point where I thought I knew more than I knew. And then these things introduced themselves to me. I'm like, oh shit, well, that really adds some clarity to life. And I can begin to attack that. And the simplest one being that I am in control of the life that I live. And uh, I think that if you can understand that, um, then every time something goes wrong, your first reaction is not, well, whose fault is this? Your first reaction is, what could I have done differently to prevent this from happening? And then what that does is you learn and it prevents it from happening. But if you keep doing the same thing, it'll keep happening. So anyway, I could go on and on, obviously, about this, but I'm so thankful for everybody listening. I'm so hopeful that the words that we're getting out and the things, the topics that we're talking about, the way that we're talking about them, the tools that we're offering up are beneficial, and know that they come with sincerity. We don't believe that they're the only tools that work. We don't think that if you don't do this, you can't find happiness. But a lot of the things we say are crucial to the foundation of finding what true happiness is. And we know all too well, we say it all the time. We reach these external milestones and realize we feel the exact same as before reaching the external milestone. So before we made X amount of money or before we had X house, uh, we still don't feel that complete sense of calm with just self. And so I really encourage you to keep up the hard work. Just even listening to the show is a thing. So I feel like there's a lot of work that needs to be done by all of us. Society is wreaking havoc on us humans. There's so much information flying everywhere. There's so much anger flying everywhere. There's animosity. There's resentment. There's just toxicity. It's hard, and we have to navigate through all of that. We can only control the person in the mirror, and so we navigate through that. Try not to be part of it. Try not to interact with it. Just keep moving forward. So as we wrap the season up, I want to leave you with some simple things. You are not broken. You're not behind. You're not too far gone. You're not the only one struggling. You're a man trying to figure out life in real time, just like the rest of us. And every time that you choose to grow, to get honest, to take responsibility, or even just to listen to a show like this, you're taking steps forward. And you need to give yourself credit for that. We've got some goals coming up with serving you better and making emotional health practical, not preachy, creating conversations men just don't have, bringing tools to you to improve your life, not just ideas, but things that you can actually implement, documentation that you can uh, go back and lean on in times of struggle. We find ourselves up, and we don't focus on the stuff that's going wrong. And then when we get in the middle of the things going wrong, we're so emotionally inflamed, we can't make good decisions. So if we can make some notes for ourselves and in times when we're reflecting, when we're going through uh, things that you might have learned on the show or on other shows or in your reading, when you put those into practice, it's something you can fall back on. So for me and Jason, thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for riding with us through season two. Thank you for your patience in season two. I know the consistency could have been way better, and definitely going to work on that. Thank you for giving us your time and your attention and your trust. Keep working hard, stay honest with yourself, and get ready for season three because it's going to be our strongest yet. Thank you, as always, for spending your time, your most valuable asset with us. Until next time, keep your head up, stay in the fight. The world's a better place with you in it.